You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. Hi Aaron, new video request for you. Please provide the quote. Why are people in America so defensive? The moment someone disagrees with someone else on Facebook or in the YouTube comment section or in similar forums, instead of having a healthy, productive dialogue, people immediately resort to attacking and insulting each other. What does that say about us as a society? It's simple. This is so simple, but I asked you another follow-up question that we're going to delve into. We're soft, and we have nothing else going on in our lives. So let's start here. All right. Americans are the single largest group of most spoiled people in the history of the world. Maybe you could say the Romans at one time, but I mean large. I'm sure there's like Monaco. I'm sure there's protectorates what do they call them? Like small little kingdom. I'm sure the kids in Liechtenstein are a royal pain in the ass to deal with, and I wouldn't want to hang out with any of them because they're just snooty little rich kids. But in terms of like large populations, the United States, without a shadow of a doubt, is the largest, most spoiled culture in the history of the world. Not only did we have the World War II generation produce this insane amount of production, spoil the baby boomers, but we squandered all that money away, and we are still so entitled that we now have a debt to GDP of about 105, 110. We have to borrow the money to keep it going. And that's just government. I know we all like to pick on people who collect the government check, and our poor are fat. Like right there, they're soft. We're soft. Our poor are obese because they got so much money and so much food. Are rich. It's not even enough. I knew this. I'll tell you the story again. This one couple I knew, they made over $300,000 together as a couple. They still filed for bankruptcy. Their house, they paid fucking 17 grand a year in taxes. That's my mortgage, or it wasn't even my mortgage. So we have been brought up over now 3 generations to think that any inconvenience, you can't even call inconvenience, any wish that is not granted is a violation of our rights. Again, look at the American kids today, Gen Z, Millennial, even Gen X. Education's right, healthcare's right, birth control's right. It's like, no. Rights are things that the government doesn't do to you, like prohibit your freedom of speech, or prevent you from owning property, or preventing you from voting. The government, those are rights where the government will leave you the F alone. And now, so spoiled and so lacking of genuine real problems are Americans that they gotta go and look at what these kids protest about. Look at what they protest about. Oh my God, we don't have free birth control. The Sandra Flukes of the world. I don't get my free education in look at my vagina studies or jerk off studies. I want a basic guaranteed income. Gimme. So we are so soft, so weak, so pathetic, so parasitic upon borrowing from not only foreigners but future generations. We have, in my opinion, you guys wonder why I just enjoyed the decline. I don't really have a lot of faith in the future of the United States and don't really care. You Europeans are even worse. It's this. Americans, by pretty much all measures and standards, are such weak, pathetic people. They don't deserve what Western civilization has given them. All right? So, and I saw this with rich kids, when you are given everything, when life is made so easy for you, you don't have to work for it, you do not develop. Your growth is retarded. It is slowed, if not halted, even if regressed, where you say, okay, everything that normally would forge a man and a woman in becoming strong, independent men and women, starvation, poverty, threats, fighting, war, famine, plague, locust, now that's all taken care of, they start looking for pettier and pettier things to get upset about. Humans just want to complain about everything. But the larger point is you take away all these hurdles and trials and tribulations in life, and you get soft, weak people. And that not only you have soft, weak people, but you have people that have no point and purpose in life. They have no legacy. They have no agency. They have no purpose. They don't have something to point to and say, I fought in the Great War, or I raised this family through the sweat and toil of my own hair. Or I took care of these kids. I raised 5 kids and kept a good house. Or I started this business that has helped employ scores of families or anything. There's so few people that have something of value, a legacy, or a list of accomplishments, or a purpose, a point in life to point to, that now they immediately subscribe to what I like to call faux religions, although they can subscribe to religions themselves, the traditional ones, but these faux, anything with an ist or an ism at the end of it. Feminism, globalism, environmentalism, veganism, and not to point out on the left, because there's people on the right. You get these gals that are like anti-abortion. You get a lot of the religious right. They're anti-gay, and then you find out they have gay lovers. You get education. Everybody, the education, and you can start to see where this plays out into your question, where all people have is an education. That's, if anything, their one accomplishment. You can't say their biggest accomplishment. It's their only accomplishment, and a lot of it's not even an accomplishment because it's a worthless liberal arts degree that's easy to get. You could have gotten at the library for free. And they champion social justice warrior cause, or I'm going to help fight poverty. It'll create problems. The wage gap. Well, you want the wage and the race gap? You want it solved? Everybody start fucking acting Asian. No kids out of wedlock, you all major in engineering, knock it off with the fucking bullshit. And you'd be amazed how quick all the wage gaps between all the races and the genders, and everyone's like, oh, we gotta close the gap between blacks and whites. I'm always like, hey, how about we close the gap between everybody and Asians? How about we ask what those guys are doing? And it's not their genetics, or it has nothing to do with being Asian. It's the culture, the decisions the vast majority of them make, which is no kids out of wedlock, major in good stuff, get good grades, work hard. Oh my God, who thought that would be a fucking formula? Anyway, where was it going? Oh, so you have the softest, most spoiled generation ever, who for frick's sake have safe spaces and want to be called Z and Zer. I mean, have 48 flavors that they come up with gender, and they all claim to have mental disorders just so they can have some kind of value because they got nothing else in life. And what you do when you disagree with them, especially on social media, we're not talking people working at the office and have shit going on. We're talking like the losers during the day. If you're doing this during the daytime, that means these people don't have jobs. You are taking away the one thing they have at life. And not taking it away because there's really nothing of value to take away. You're simply putting a mirror in their face, or you're daring to question the value of their holy and precious religion, whatever that happens to be. So if you have, to show you I'm being intellectual. Also, so you have an ardent Trump supporter. You're like, hey, Trump was banging other women, which, surprise, surprise, a billionaire banging other women. Who knew? And it's all right because Clinton did it too while he was president. You'll get, how dare you, Donald Trump, you make America great again. Okay. On the left, much more common, these guys spurg out when you don't call them Z or Zer. Or you say, no, no, I'm not anti-gay marriage. I'm trying to say, no, marriage is between a man and a woman. No, you're not discriminated against. You're just lazy and you major in the liberal arts. And that's why women make less. What else? You choose your poison. Vegetarians, you need protein from animals and they don't. So, and the reason that they get so vehement, they're so emotional and irrational behind it, is because deep down inside, I believe they know that they have nothing else going on in their life. That if you take away this one thing, you take away the kids, I got bipolar. You say, no, you don't. You don't have a father, and you beat the shit out of you if you don't start behaving right. And they're, you want to see somebody spurg out, look at The Amazing Atheist. I did a video. I had to take it down because I didn't want to bother with the fucking strikes and all the other fucking complaints. But they freaked the fuck out. When I wrote that article about whatever that movie was, being feminist, because they hired a feminist. She was telling women how to be feminist and act oppressed and all that in the movie. You never saw the guy, Mad Max. And the whole world spurred out because I dared to say, this looks like it's going to be a feminist indoctrination lecture or sermon. Everyone spurred out. What you're doing is you're going to these genuinely, by historical standards, unaccomplished, inferior people. Pretty much worthless people. I mean, they offer nothing of value. They didn't raise families, they don't work, they don't do anything. All they have is their religion, and you remind them of it by criticizing it. That strikes right at the core, and it reminds them, hey, you're wasting your life on this planet. And they don't, and what happens is this sad debate in their mind, like, yeah, but to accomplish something of worth and value means I'd have to work hard. And I'm so lazy, I'd rather lie to myself about this. MGTOW, perfect example. Let's go at the extreme elements of the MGTOW movement. These guys are talking about getting robot dolls, sex dolls, and then that's going to go and put those women in their places. Like, that's what you got time for in your life? This is what your life has accomplished? Is you're going to wait for sex doll technology to come out? Why don't you get the fuck out of the house and go work out and go play or go do something, get a job? Or you don't have to date women, but my God, you're actually wasting your time writing about sex dolls. And then there's another example where Aaron may have taken a stick and poked a hornet's nest with it, where I said, look up the video, stop abusing MGTOW, or the abuse of MGTOW or something. Oh my God, I dared throw a water balloon at the great statue of the TFLs. And they came crash because, again, you took a mirror, you showed them themselves and what losers they are, and now they were forced with the reality that they're wasting their lives, but they're too damn lazy to do anything about it. And so laziness forces people to enslave themselves to a religion or some kind of surrogate value that gives them this faux value in life as long as they avoid work. And that hypocrisy, I guess, also really pisses them off when you're like, no, you're not championing the poor, you're not helping the Africans, you're not helping women, you're just a lazy fuck who doesn't want to do anything, and now you're subscribing to this crusade or this cause to make you feel better, but the real reason you do it is because you just want to feel good about yourself. That's it. And you're too damn lazy to go get a job and produce something of real value for society, which would be selfless. I'm going to produce some software, I'm going to fix some cars, that actually helps people. But demanding other people over there give their money to these people over there, and you just like, oh my God, I'm so good, oh my God, I'm such a good person. It literally is masturbation. That's what it is. It's not, you can't even call it effort. It's pointless. It's fruitless. Nothing comes of it, except socialism and a collapsing economy. So that's why now. That's why you're getting such a vehement response. Now I want to know this as if you were a foreigner in the United States or if you're in America, because I didn't know. Oh, you didn't respond to that. So anyway, that's my answer. So I guess you are an American. From a foreigner's perspective, especially if you came from the former Soviet bloc, you see this painfully as night and day. Especially if you're old enough to remember being brought up under the Soviet bloc, under communism. So you see this because you definitely had hard lives. You understand what it's like to live under a dictatorship. You understand how bad life can be. And then you look at Americans, and they're just the biggest fucking pussies ever. And that's why. And this is sadly what I think we're freedom and capitalism, although we can't say we have capitalism because we have a quasi-socialist system now, but where you have no standards and you have such a massive amount of economic production. If the parents don't force discipline and strife and a galvanizing process on their generations, you just get soft, genuinely worthless crap like the millennials. You get a wasted crop. That's why I call them. They're a wasted crop. And you have to really think about how sad that is economically, where an entire generation has been wasted. I know there's some good millennials. Please don't do that. I know there's one millennial that actually has a job. Thank you. I know him too. He's that one guy. It's not insulting. It's descriptive as to just what a pathetic group. I mean, my God, safe spaces and 38 flavors of gender, and you tried to defend it. We just need the Chinese to invade and beat the ever-living shit out of us. And then when the electricity isn't on and there's rationing and the Starbucks ain't serving up its sludge no more, maybe you'll start to realize where the rubber hits the road in life. But we are so far removed with parental money and borrowed money and the legacy of previous generations, not to mention the corruption of the rest of the world, which makes the U.S. dollar the world's reserve currency. We never actually face consumer inflation. It just results in just a pathetic generation of people that they can't defend themselves in the real world, and they certainly can't defend themselves, or let alone engage in an interesting debate. They're not capable of debate. They have that one thing: I'm a feminist, I'm a globalist, I'm an environmentalist, I help out the poor, whatever. And if you ever question the practicality of that, well, wouldn't it be easier if we just made women major in STEM than would go? That's why you're not dealing with rational, sane people, because you're dealing with children, emotional little children, whether they got pubes or not, whether even it's going gray or not. You're dealing with children. So, all right, that's it. You guys got questions? Captain's got answers over at assholeconsulting.com. Donate money to my Patreon account, because what the hell would you do with it anyway? Pay for bills. But patreon.com/Aaron Clary. Clary Podcast on SoundCloud.com. Check out the shit. The link's down below. All right, we'll see you guys later. Toodles.